Hi, I'm John DeVore. Welcome to the channel. Quick video. Sorry, I didn't do a proper video last week. There was an event going on, so I did anyway, I did the selfie video, which I think I posted on YouTube. It's so difficult. All of the different platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, they all have different requirements, so if you want to put one of the portrait mode, like selfie style videos, if you want to put it on YouTube, it can only be a certain length. It's very confusing. Anyway, this is a proper cinematic style video with Roxy. And it's a little bit rushed because tomorrow morning I am off to Los Angeles. Actually, I'm off to Orange County for the HiFi show there, the LAOC HiFi Society, Audio Society. They throw a big show every year, and I'm going to go and help out my dealer, my LA dealer, Common Wave. It's got a few rooms, and he's dedicating one of the rooms to DeVore Fidelity speakers, so I'm going to be there. That show is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe, and Sunday. Anyway, I will be there. If you're in the area or you're going to the show, make sure you come in and say hi. One of the things that he's doing in that, Wes, my dealer, it's a dealer room. I'm not attending as an exhibitor. I'm attending as a helper. I guess I'm attending as a manufacturer, but not as an exhibitor, which is much lower stress. But he gave me a turntable in that room with 2 tone arms. So I've got stereo and mono, which means I have been cranking through my mono records to pick a few choice ones that will fit in my carry-on. I love mono records. There's something about it. Maybe part of it is possibly when you put a limitation on what you're looking for, it makes it easier to find, or that works for you. I don't know, whatever it is. But when I'm like hunting through the mono records and playing them and picking them, it's really it's a joy. And this is one of the ones. I don't think this one has been to a HiFi show with me yet. This is Rahsaan Roland Kirk Domino. Oh, it's a tasty one. It is a tasty one. I think I may sneak this one in my backpack and bring it home and tuck it into the carry-on. I used to dismiss Rahsaan Roland Kirk. Rahsaan Roland Kirk plays all of the instruments. So he's a saxophone player, but he plays flute. He has multiple types of saxophones, including weird ones like wooden saxophones and different tunings and things like that. And then also like train whistles and sirens and stuff like that. And I used to just sort of dismiss him as sort of kitschy, or sort of he has too much of a shtick. Because sometimes he plays all of those instruments, sometimes all at once. So he's a guy who he'll have 2 different saxophones that'll be playing at the same time, or multiple things sticking into his mouth that he's playing, and I'm just like, well, he can't be good if he does that. But I was totally wrong. I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe? Probably 10 years ago, I finally sat down and listened to a couple of his records, and they're fucking great. He's a great jazz man, very talented. He's not compromising his musical or technical skills just because he's got a bunch of instruments sticking out of his mouth at the same time. Very cool. Excellent jazz flautist, flute player. Really good stuff. This is maybe my favorite of his records. He's got a few really good records. This is my favorite of the ones that I have in mono, and I think I may bring it to Orange County. But the other thing that I wanted to do in this video before I leave is customer system photos. So let's do that. Let me get them up here. First one. This is a cool room. This is a pair of our old Gibbon Super 8s. It's a 2-tone finish that we used to do. It's Italian ebony cabinet. with a bird's eye maple front. Italian ebony is real wood, but it's kind of dyed and striped so that it looks like real ebony, but it isn't insanely expensive or rare. And looks like it's got a Rogue. I think it's a Rogue Kronos integrated amplifier there. Very cool. King Kong. There's a Barcelona chair. It's a Barcelona-esque chair. Just a nice looking thing. That red is pretty dope as well. Here's one. Here's another one of our older models. That is a pair of the Silverback reference. These are a pair of Silverbacks in a really pretty treated room. There's like a lot of wood treatments all around the walls. Those are big wave stream tube monoblocks. That's mostly what I recognize. I see there's a Total DAC there. Also, some other rooms. So those are room lenses on the outside of the two speakers. Those things with the three tubes. That is a very effective. That guy doesn't make them anymore, but that's a very effective room treatment. I used to bring a set of those to HiFi shows with me many years ago, 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. My set broke into a million pieces at one point. Here's nice. This is some there's a lovely mop-like dog there, and somebody is listening to, maybe it's a piano concerto on BBC4. That's another pair of Gibbon Super 8s. That looks like it's the wild cherry finish. You know what? Is that a dog? No. Yes, that is a dog. I was wondering if that was like the dog blanket or the dog. I think it's the dog. And maybe there's a ukulele there on the side under the window and a little child chair. Cool, man. Let the kids hear the music the way it's meant to be. Speaking of kids, another not as old, but there's a pair of Gibbon 3XLs. Those are not our stands, but I'm sure they're lovely. And there's a little musician playing their kiddie piano there. Maybe they're accompanying whatever the music they're playing. Not sure what the gear is behind it. Stacks and stacks of CD jewel cases, but that's very nice. Nice rug there too. Here we have a deep dark blue room with a pair of 096s there. I'm seeing, I think that's a DCS DAC, and that could be like an Audio Note Cobra integrated amp. It's an integrated amp with big transmitter tubes for sure, and that looks like an SME turntable up top. Very nice. Oh, there's a little. That's one of my little prints. That's a print of music there in the frame in front of one of those speakers. A chess knight on one speaker and a cyclist on the other. Nice. World's longest cat. Draft blocker. All right, let's talk cats. There's a pair of micros in a nice shelving set up with an adorable fluffy black cat. Look at those eyes, my goodness. I think that's one of those cats that simply always looks surprised just because of the way their eyes are. I'm guessing that cat is not probably surprised. It probably just looks like that. Oh, it looks so fluffy though. I just want to touch it. Ooh, nice. There's a custom pair of oak 093s surrounding an oak mantelpiece. That looks very nice. And I think that looks like an Accuphase integrated amp over there. Nice. Very simple, very clean, good looking system there. Yeah. Oh, here's a system. This is a system. These two photos, that's a pair of our very early, those are Gibbon 8s. And that is a system, look at all those records. This was a system I spotted on Instagram. This was somebody's home that was covered. You can see there's the Williamsburg Bridge over there, so maybe it's Lower East Side, I think. And I believe that's a Lin LP12 and a Lieben CS600. Excellent system. Very nice system. This was this room or this apartment was covered by a magazine who talked about sort of people's personal style, and it was I think it was specifically women's homes and their personal style, and the hi-fi figured prominently in there, and they even named the speakers by name, DeVore Fidelity, which is very unusual. Generally, articles like that are just like, and these are our speakers. Here's another one. This is a 096 system in a beautiful dark room with a lovely light wide pine floor. Could be chestnut. I think it's pine. That's another Lieben. That's a Lieben preamp with a Lieben power amp above it, and that's probably a Fikert turntable, I think. Very nice. Nice looking system. Lots of wood. Can't go wrong. Here's a system with O bronze. That's a pair of the O bronzes. That it looks like a Brinkmann turntable up there. I see an Accuphase power amp. I'm not sure. That looks like a Luxman tuner at the bottom. Maybe it's a phono stage at the bottom. Seems far away for the phono stage to be, but I don't know what preamp that is. I'm assuming that's the preamp below the turntable, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't recognize it. Anyway, very nice. Wood, coffee table. If you're going to have a coffee table, please don't have a glass coffee table between you and your hi-fi system. They just don't sound good. And our last one, here is another set of micros, snuggled nicely in some record shelves. Very nice. Looks like a little subwoofer there on the side. Don't know what the system is because the doors there are closed, but looks lovely to me. Nice color, sort of a nice warm color on that plaster wall. Oak floor. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for watching. And if you are in Orange County this weekend and you feel like going to a hi-fi show, I know it's not for everyone, but if you're there, come by, say hi, and I will see you at the next video. Thanks.